My wife demanded a divorce right there in our living room. "You can't afford a lawyer to fight me," she said, her voice cold and certain. I just nodded. "You're right." She looked satisfied, already picturing her victory. A week later, she served me the official papers in court, only to watch the city's most notorious, high-priced divorce attorney sit down beside me. He glanced at her and said, "He doesn't have to pay me. I'm his older brother. Let me take you back." Last Tuesday, Evelyn told me she wanted a divorce. There was no sadness, no hesitation, just a sense of triumph. We were sitting in the home we'd spent 8 years building together, but she spoke to me like a CEO firing an underperforming employee. "It's over, Tom," she said, sliding a folder across the coffee table. "I've already talked to a lawyer. These are my terms." I didn't even bother opening it. She was eager to spell it all out. She wanted the house. My grandfather helped me buy that house. She wanted 70% of our savings. She wanted spousal support for at least 5 years. There was no room for negotiation. She expected me to surrender. When she finished, she leaned back, a smug smile on her face. "And I don't want to fight about this, Tom," she said, her tone dripping with condescension. "Let's be realistic. You're a high school woodshop teacher. You make a decent living, but you can't afford a real lawyer. My guy will bury you in legal fees before you even get to court. It's better for you to just agree and walk away." I just stared at her, the woman I'd loved, the woman I'd built a life with, and felt a cold emptiness settle inside me. She didn't just want to leave, she wanted to destroy me. She saw me as weak, an obstacle to be crushed. Her biggest weapon, she thought, was my inability to fight back. I let the silence stretch, then finally said what she wanted to hear, "You're right." Relief washed over her face. She thought she'd won. She stood, smoothed her skirt, and said, "Good. I'm glad you're being sensible. You'll get the official papers next week." Then she left the room. Here's what Evelyn knew: I was a man of modest means. I didn't have tens of thousands to throw at a legal battle. She also knew I had a brother, Marcus. What she was counting on was that Marcus and I hadn't spoken in 5 years. Marcus isn't a teacher, he's a shark. The most feared, expensive divorce attorney in the state. His name alone makes other lawyers nervous. But after our parents died, we had a falling out over the family home. I wanted to keep it for the memories. Marcus wanted to sell and move on. We argued, and that was it. We hadn't spoken since. Evelyn saw me as completely cut off from the only powerful person in my family. She thought my greatest asset was out of play. She was wrong. For 3 days after her announcement, I was in a dark place. She was right about one thing: I couldn't afford to fight her, not on her terms. The thought of losing my home, my savings, everything I'd worked for, was suffocating. On the 4th day, I hit rock bottom. And from there, the only way was up. I swallowed my pride, the pride that had cost me my brother for 5 years, and found his number. My hand shook as I dialed. I expected voicemail, or maybe his assistant. But after 2 rings, he answered. "Hello, Marcus," I said, my voice barely recognizable to myself. "It's Tom." There was a long pause. I thought he might hang up. "Tommy," he finally said, using the old nickname. "What's wrong?" And I told him everything. Evelyn's demands, her lawyer, her coldness, and her final taunt: "You can't afford a lawyer to fight me." There was another long silence. When he spoke again, his voice was different, protective, steely. "She said what?" he asked, dangerously quiet. I repeated her words. "Okay," he said. "When's the first court date?" "Next Tuesday, downtown courthouse." "I'll clear my schedule." "Don't talk to her. Don't talk to her lawyer. Don't sign anything. Just show up Tuesday. I'll meet you there." We hung up. My heart pounded with a mix of fear and hope. Evelyn thought she disarmed me. She had no idea she just handed me a nuclear weapon. She was about to learn what family really means. The morning of the hearing was gray and rainy, fitting, really. I walked into the courthouse alone, feeling every bit the defeated man Evelyn expected. I wore my only suit, the one for weddings and funerals. It felt like both. Evelyn was already there, looking sharp and confident in a Navy power suit, her hair perfect. Her lawyer, a smug man in his 50s, was laughing with her. When they saw me, her smile faltered for a moment, replaced by pity. I just met her gaze, expressionless, and sat at the defendant's table. Her lawyer swaggered over. "Mr. Miller," he said, oozing condescension. "I trust you've reviewed my client's generous proposal. If you're ready to sign, we can make this quick." "I'm waiting for my counsel," I replied quietly. He actually laughed. "Your counsel? Good luck." He walked back to his table. The bailiff called the court to order. The judge, stern and no-nonsense, took her seat. "Miller versus Miller," she announced. "Are both parties present and represented?" Evelyn's lawyer stood. "Alan Davis, representing the plaintiff, Mrs. Evelyn Miller." The judge looked at me. Before I could answer, the heavy doors at the back of the courtroom swung open. Every head turned. My brother, Marcus, strode in. He wasn't just wearing a suit, he was wearing armor. He moved with the confidence of a predator, his briefcase swinging at his side. A ripple of whispers swept through the room as people recognized him. He walked straight to me, put a hand on my shoulder, and squeezed. Then he sat down, placing his briefcase on the table with a solid, echoing click. I glanced at Evelyn. Her smugness was gone, replaced by shock and disbelief. Her lawyer looked even worse, pale, terrified. He knew exactly who Marcus was. Marcus leaned over. "Sorry I'm late, little brother," he whispered, a hint of a smile. "Traffic was hell." Then he straightened, all business. "Marcus Sterling, Your Honor," he announced, his voice filling the room. "Representing the defendant, Mr. Thomas Miller." The judge's eyebrows shot up. She knew the name. Everyone did. Marcus turned to Evelyn and her lawyer, giving them a cold, predatory smile. "My apologies for the delay," he said, voice dripping with mock politeness. Then he looked at Evelyn and delivered the line that shattered her world, "He doesn't have to afford me. I'm his older brother." The game had changed. Evelyn thought she was coming to a surrender. She'd walked into an ambush. Marcus opened his briefcase, pulled out a stack of files, and the demolition began. He rejected all her demands, called them predatory, and announced our intention to file a counterpetition. He demanded a full forensic audit of all marital assets and expenditures for the last 3 years, and that Evelyn pay all my legal fees. Her lawyer just stammered, outmatched before the fight even began. The next 2 months were a legal blitzkrieg. Marcus doesn't just practice law, he wages war. Evelyn and her lawyer thought they'd steamroll me. Instead, they found themselves under relentless assault. Marcus filed a motion for discovery that was a masterpiece of legal aggression. He demanded every financial document Evelyn had touched for 5 years, bank statements, credit cards, Venmo, everything. Her lawyer tried to have it dismissed as harassment. The judge, clearly intimidated by Marcus, approved it in full. Evelyn was forced to turn over everything. She thought she'd covered her tracks. She had no idea Marcus had a team of forensic accountants for fun. While she drowned in paperwork, Marcus scheduled depositions with her friends, her family, even colleagues. His strategy: apply pressure from every angle until the truth came out. The breakthrough came during the deposition of Evelyn's best friend, Qley. She was loyal, but no match for Marcus. For 3 hours, he questioned her about Evelyn's spending, her work trips, her happiness. Then he asked, "Can you tell me about Mr. David Kincaid?" Qley flinched. The name meant nothing to me. Marcus waited. Qley tried to play dumb, but Marcus produced credit card statements from a card I never knew about, linked to our joint savings, which she'd been siphoning for over a year. He pointed to hotel stays, jewelry, expensive dinners. "Miss Miller was on a work conference these dates," Marcus said. "But her employer confirms no such conference." "You weren't with her. So who is David Kincaid?" Qley broke. Under oath, she admitted it, David Kincaid was the man Evelyn had been having an affair with for 18 months. A wealthy real estate developer she'd met through work. Suddenly, everything made sense: the secrecy, the financial demands, the confidence. She wasn't just leaving me, she was leaving me for someone else, trying to strip our marriage for assets to take into her new life. She wanted to use my money to fund her future with her lover. The deposition of David was even more revealing. He admitted to the affair, admitted he and Evelyn had planned the divorce together, and that it was his idea for her to demand the house and spousal support, thinking I'd be too weak to fight back. They'd underestimated me, and my family. With these depositions, Evelyn's case was obliterated. She'd committed perjury, hidden assets, lied about everything. Her lawyer called Marcus, begging to settle. Evelyn was willing to drop all demands and just walk away. Marcus was cold, no. Walking away is a privilege she hasn't earned. We're going to court, and we're going to burn her to the ground. She wanted a fight. Now she had one. 6 months after that first courtroom showdown, I can say I didn't lose anything that mattered. I got it all back. The final court date was a formality. Faced with overwhelming evidence, depositions, forensic reports, proof of her affair and fraud, Evelyn had no choice but to surrender. Her lawyer, defeated, advised her to accept any terms we offered. And Marcus's terms were brutal. Evelyn didn't just walk away with nothing, she walked away with less than nothing. She lost any claim to the house. Her demand for spousal support was dismissed with prejudice. And because Marcus proved she'd spent over $60,000 of marital assets on her affair, the judge ordered that amount deducted from her share and returned to me. She left with a fraction of what she wanted, a mountain of legal bills, and the public humiliation of her scheme exposed in court. The fallout in her personal life was just as harsh. Her lover dumped her almost immediately. Her friends, many forced to testify about her lies, distanced themselves. She lost her fiancé, her house, her savings, her boyfriend, and her reputation, all at once. All because she underestimated the quiet man she was married to. But the real story is what happened with my brother. A few weeks after the divorce was finalized, Marcus called me. "Meet me at the old house," he said. I drove out to our parents' place, the house that had caused our 5-year feud. I found him on the porch. We didn't talk about the case or Evelyn. We talked about our dad's fishing trips, our mom's apple pie, about being kids. Finally, after a long silence, he looked at me. "I was wrong, Tommy," he said. "I was so focused on the money, I forgot what this place meant. It's our home." I was wrong, too, I admitted. I was stuck in the past, not willing to see a different future for this place. We didn't sell the house. We decided to keep it together. We've spent weekends fixing it up, repairing the porch, painting, bringing it back to life. It's not a memorial to the past anymore. It's a project for our future, a place for our real family to gather. Working side by side with my brother has healed a wound I thought would never close. Evelyn's parting shot was that I couldn't afford a lawyer. Her greed, her arrogance, her belief that I was weak and alone, that's what forced me to make the call that brought my brother back into my life. She thought she was isolating me. Instead, she reunited me with the most important family I have. She tried to leave me with nothing. But as I stand here today, with my home secure and my brother by my side, I realize I have everything that truly matters.